Good morning everyone and Sairam. So how are you children? I hope you all are fit and fine at home. And I also hope that you all have completed your civics work in your fair notebook. But those who have not done yet, please complete your work. So let's start today's session. So children, today we are going to start new history chapter. Chapter number 3rd, the Delhi Sultans, right? And this is part 1. Now let's see the topic which we will cover in this video. So first we talk about Delhi, right? Then we talk about the Rajput dynasty, that means those who ruled over the Delhi first. Then after the Rajput dynasty, there were many Muslim rulers. They just came India and they ruled over the Delhi, like early Turkish rulers. Then after that Khilji dynasty. Then after that Tughlaq. Then Sayyid dynasty, and at last Lodi dynasty. And after Lodi dynasty, basically Mughals came into the power. Then after that, sources of information, basically where we get the information about the Delhi Sultanate. So there were many sources through which we get the lots of detailed information about the Delhi Sultanate. So let's start first about Delhi. So children, basically in second chapter of history, the new kings and kingdom, we saw that the region like the Kaveri Delta became the important center of the large kingdoms. But children, did you notice that there was no mention of the kingdom with the Delhi as its capital? Why? Because Delhi became the important center in 12th century. And before Delhi, this power acquired by the Kannauj and the other cities, right? So Delhi became the important center in the 12th century. So majorly this chapter discusses about the rulers who ruled over the Delhi, who made Delhi as its capital, and they built many cities within Delhi. Okay. Now Rajput dynasty. I think children, you must have heard the story of Pandavas in Mahabharata, right? So basically Indraprastha was the capital of Pandavas. Pandavas, they also ruled over the Delhi. But apart from that, their other new dynasty, they ruled those who ruled over the Delhi, they were the Rajput dynasty, or we can say that Rajput were the first who ruled over the Delhi first, right? So first, Tomar dynasty. Tomar belongs to the Rajput dynasty. So Tomar were the first, those who ruled over the Delhi in early 12th century. And Anangapala, he was the Tomar ruler, and he was the first ruler. First dynasty, Tomar dynasty, and the first ruler was the Anangapala, right? And his time period started from 1130 till 1145. After Tomars, basically Tomars defeated by the Chauhans, right? And Chauhan's period started from 1165 till 1192. So Tomars defeated by the Chauhans. Now, as I said, like Delhi became an important center or important city only in the 12th century, right? In which century? In 12th century. Now the Tomar Rajput and the Chauhans. So as I said, like Delhi first became the capital of a king only under the Tomar dynasty, who was a part of the Rajput dynasty. And after the Tomar, basically Tomar Rajput, they were defeated in the mid 12th century by the Chauhans, right? First Tomar ruled over the Delhi, then Tomars defeated by the Chauhans in the mid 12th century. But Under the Tomars and the Chauhans, Delhi became the important commercial center. Right? Delhi became an important commercial center only under the Tomar and Chauhan firstly. So basically during the Rajput dynasty, many Jain merchants, they lived in the Delhi and they also constructed several temples over them. Now there was a wide circulation of the coins, basically coins minted in Delhi, and these coins were called Delhiwal. Basically the coins minted in Delhi, these coins were called Delhiwal. Is it clear? Okay. Now next is the Delhi Sultanate. So basically after the Chauhans, or after we can say that the Prithviraj Chauhan, Muslim rulers came into the power, the Delhi Sultanate. So after the death of Prithviraj Chauhan, many Muslim rulers ruled over the Delhi. So basically there were 5 Muslim kingdoms and dynasty ruled over the Delhi after the Chauhans, and they ruled about 320 years. Right? Delhi Sultanate time period started from 1206 and continued till 1526. Now these Delhi Sultans, they built many cities in the area that is known as today Delhi, and these are Delhi Ekuna, Jahanpana, Siri, Firozabad, etc. and etc. Okay. Now next one is the sources of information. Now where we get the detailed information about the Delhi Sultanate. So there were many sources like coins, inscription, architecture. Basically these sources gave us lot of detailed information about the Delhi Sultanate. And there is one more source, Tariq. Tariq and Tuarikh, it's also an important source through which we get the detailed information about the Delhi Sultanate. So now here children, Tariq is a new word for you, right? So let's understand the meaning of the Tariq and the Tuarikh. Basically Tuarikh is a plural form of Tariq. Tariq is a singular and Tuarikh is a plural form. Okay, now what is Tariq and Tuarikh? So first of all, origin of word Tariq. So Tariq and Tuarikh is an Arabic word, right? Tariq and Tuarikh is an Arabic word which means history, right? Tariq is an Arabic word which means history. And if we talk about the definition of Tariq, so chroniclers written by scribes, right? Chroniclers written by scribes were called Tariq. Now language. Now these Tariq were written in the Persian language, right? These Tariq were written in the Persian language, and basically Persian it was the language of the administration in the Delhi Sultanate. Now the author of the Tuarikh, like those who wrote Tuarikh, they were the learned men, like they were the secretaries, like the secretaries, administrators, poets and the courtiers. Now the life of the authors, the author of the Tuarikh, they just lived very luxurious life. They lived in cities, right? And they also expecting rich rewards in the return. Basically why the people were writing, basically they were writing to earn rewards. They were writing for the Delhi Sultan to earn reward from the rulers. So if next one is the advice, they just recounted events and advised ruler on the governance. Now according to them, that means the author of the Tuarikh, an ideal social order was based on birth right and the gender distinction. Basically this work is try to understand is try to maintain a kind of social discrimination and gender distinction in their writing work. Okay, now 4 stages in making of manuscript, right? So basically at that time preparing manuscript was very important work. So for preparing manuscripts, what was done? So this manuscript required 4 stages, right? This manuscripts required 4 stages. So 4 stages in making of manuscript. First one is, first step, preparing the papers, right? First they prepared paper, then after the second step they're writing the text over it. Okay, and the third one is, if they just want to highlight few words and passages in their writing work, so for that they melting gold to highlight the important words and passages, and at last preparing the binding, right? So 4 stages in making of a manuscript. First one is like preparing the papers, then writing the text, and then melting golds if they just want to highlight few words and passages, and at last preparing the binding. Okay, now here is the list of the Muslim ruler in the chronological order who ruled over the Delhi after the Chauhan or after the death of Prithviraj Chauhan. Okay, so basically children, India did not face any invention for more than 150 years after the raid of Muhammad Ghazni. So do you remember about the Muhammad Ghazni, which we talked about in second chapter also? So India did not face any invention like for almost 150 years after the raid of Muhammad Ghazni. So it was by the mid 12th century, the ruler of Ghor in Afghanistan. The ruler of Ghor in Afghanistan, Muhammad Ghori, right? The ruler of Ghor in Afghanistan, Muhammad Ghori, attacked and captured Punjab and Sindh, right, in 1191, right? So when he attacked over India in 1191, he attacked and captured Punjab and Sindh. So when Muhammad Ghori he attacked over the India, so over India and over Delhi, Prithviraj Chauhan was ruled over them, right? When Muhammad Ghori attacked over the India, so at that time Prithviraj Chauhan ruled over them. So Muhammad Ghori clashed with the Prithviraj Chauhan in the first battle of Tarin. First battle of Tarin, and this first battle of Tarin fought in 1191. So first battle of Tarin fought between the Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan. So in first battle Muhammad Ghori was defeated. Okay, then again in next year, that means in 1192, again Muhammad Ghori attacked over the Prithviraj Chauhan, and in second battle of Tarin, Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated by the Muhammad Ghori, right? So basically there were two battles fought between the Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan. First battle of Tarin, which was fought between the Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan in 1191. So in this battle Muhammad Ghori was defeated. Then in next year again he clashed with the Prithviraj Chauhan in 1192, that means second battle of Tarin. But in second battle of Tarin, Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated. Now after the defeat of Prithviraj Chauhan, this resulted Turkish ruler ruled over the India. So Turkish ruler they ruled over the India, and their time period is started from 1206 continued till 1526. So after the death of Prithviraj Chauhan, and this resulted early Turkish rulers, they started to rule over the India. Is it clear? So here is the list of the rulers, Muslim rulers basically, who ruled over the Delhi after the Chauhans, right? Now the first one is early Turkish ruler or slave dynasty, right? So first slave dynasty ruled over the Delhi, and slave dynasty was the first Muslim dynasty, right? And who was the founder of slave dynasty? Qutbuddin Aibak, right? His time period started from 1206 till 1210. So Qutbuddin Aibak, he was the first slave ruler. Then after Qutbuddin Aibak, Samshuddin Iltutmish, then Razia Sultan, and then at last Ghiyasuddin Balban. Then next Muslim dynasty was Khilji dynasty. So first Jalaluddin Khilji ascended the throne of Delhi, and he was also the founder of Khilji dynasty, and after Jalaluddin, Alauddin Khilji. Then after the death of Alauddin Khilji, Tughlaq dynasty came into the power. That means the third Muslim dynasty. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, Muhammad Tughlaq, and Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Then after Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, right? Khizr Khan. And after Sayyid dynasty, the last Muslim dynasty was Lodi dynasty. Behlol Lodi was the founder of Lodi dynasty, and last one is the Ibrahim Lodi. So basically all these 5 Muslim dynasty, first one is the slave dynasty, second is Khilji dynasty, third one is Tughlaq dynasty, fourth one is Sayyid dynasty, and fifth one is Lodi dynasty, together formed or together referred as Delhi Sultanate. Is it clear? So basically there were 5 Muslim dynasty who ruled over the Delhi after the Chauhan, and together they called Delhi Sultanate. Okay. So here is the map that's showing the areas ruled by the Muslim dynasty. Okay, first one is the Mamluk dynasty or slave dynasty. So the area ruled by the slave dynasty, and the area basically ruled by the rulers, they were the Mamluk dynasty. And the second map showing the areas ruled by the Khilji dynasty, and the third map showing the areas ruled by the Tughlaq dynasty, and fourth map basically showing the areas ruled by the Lodi dynasty. Okay, so let's start with the first Muslim dynasty, right? Slave dynasty or the Mamluk dynasty. So children, slave dynasty was the first Muslim dynasty who ruled over the Delhi after the Rajputs. So basically after the death of Prithviraj Chauhan in the second battle of Tehran, which was fought in 1192, right? So Muhammad Ghori, he just went his place after capturing the Delhi. So he just went his place. Before that, he leaving all the affairs of India in the hand of his trustworthy slave Qutbuddin Aibak. Yes, Qutbuddin Aibak was the slave of Muhammad Ghori. Slave means Ghulam, right? Qutbuddin Aibak was the Ghulam of Muhammad Ghori. So after capturing the Delhi, Muhammad Ghori went back his place, that means Afghanistan, and he leaving all the affairs of India in the hand of his slave Qutbuddin Aibak. So In 1206, Muhammad Ghori was died in Afghanistan, and after the death of Muhammad Ghori, Qutbuddin Aibak he just took advantage and took control over the Delhi completely. He just cut off his link with the Ghor, and now he led the foundation of slave dynasty over the Delhi. Right? He led the foundation of slave dynasty. Now he ruled over the Delhi independently. So Qutbuddin Aibak time period started from 1206 till 1210. Okay. Now the rule of slave dynasty started from 1206 and continued till 1287. Now in between them, Samshuddin Iltutmish ascended the throne of Delhi, then Razia Sultan. Now all these rulers, they were also called Mamluk. Basically Mamluk is also an Arabic word which means slave. Okay, so Qutbuddin Aibak, he was the founder of slave dynasty. Okay, now in 1210 Aibak was died, and after the death of Aibak was ascended by his son-in-law Samshuddin Iltutmish, right? And he ruled over the Delhi from 1210 till 1236. Now after that Samshuddin Iltutmish, Razia Sultan ruled over the Delhi. Basically children, Razia Sultan was the daughter of Iltutmish. Iltutmish was very broad-minded ruler, and it is proved by the fact that although Iltutmish had many sons, but he considered none of them worthy for the throne of Delhi. So he decided to nominate his daughter Razia to become the Sultan of Delhi. But the nobles did not accept her accession as their sultan, right? So nobles, they did not accept her accession as their sultan. So after the death of Iltutmish, Ruknuddin Firoz Shah was made the sultan by the nobles. But Ruknuddin Firoz Shah was not capable. He was unfit to just handle the huge empire. So after that, Razia Sultan, she was the first woman ruler who ruled over the Delhi. So after the death of Ruknuddin Firoz Shah, Razia Sultan ascended the throne of Delhi with the popular support of city population and according to wish of her father. So Razia became the Sultan in 1236. She was the daughter of Iltutmish. But most of the people, or we can say the nobles, could not accept a woman as a ruler because she was woman. Most of the nobles in the Sultanate were not happy at her attempts to rule independently. Basically children, when Razia ascended the throne of Delhi, so she refused to be a puppet, right? And she just discarded the women dress, female dresses, and she started to attempt court with the face unveiled. She even hunted, she led the army, but very soon she was removed from the Delhi throne, or we can say that she was murdered in 1240, right? Now after Razia, there were many incapable rulers or the slave ruler who ruled over the Delhi, but they were incapable, right? And they were the weak rulers. So after that, a powerful Turkish chief, and he was famous in history as Balban, Ghiyasuddin Balban. He ruled over the Delhi, and his time period started from 1266 till 1287. So basically the struggle power between the monarch and Turkish rulers continued till Balban. So after the death of Nasiruddin Muhammad, Ghiyasuddin Balban ascended the throne of Delhi. So Ghiyasuddin Balban, he was also very capable and efficient ruler. He introduced very strict discipline in Delhi and he strengthened the position of monarch, right? Okay. Now there is a important mention here, the women who became a ruler, like the Razia Sultan, Rudrama Devi, 1262 till 1289, belonged to the Kakatiya dynasty of the Ranglers, Andhra Pradesh. She avoided gender discrimination by changing her name on inscription pretended to be a man. And there is one more, Dida, another queen who ruled Kashmir during the 1980 to 1003, was addressed as Dida instead of Didi, elder sister. Okay. Basically, children, Delhi is a very small city within India. But there were many capable Delhi sultans, those who were able to expand their region beyond the Delhi. So the next topic is from garrison towns to empire, the expansion of Delhi Sultanate. But before moving further, let's understand the meaning of the hinterland and a garrison town. So basically, hinterland, the land adjacent to a city or port that supply it with goods and services. And garrison town, that means the fortified settlements with the soldiers. So we can say that beyond the Delhi, basically called hinterland, and the fortified settlement with the soldiers, these towns are called the garrison towns, and beyond the Delhi, that means the hinterland. Okay, now the early phase of the Delhi Sultanate was limited to the fortified town, that means to garrison town. Garrison, that means the soldiers. In 13th century, if we talk about the 13th century, the control of Delhi Sultanate was very limited to the fortified towns occupied by the garrisons, that means the soldiers. In the 13th century, the control of Delhi Sultanate was limited only to the fortified towns. Now the Sultan did not control the hinterland, that means beyond the Delhi city, and they were therefore dependent upon trade, tribute or the plunders for supplies. Now controlling garrison town in distant region like the Bengal and Sindh from Delhi was also difficult at that time. Mongol invasion from Afghanistan and rebellion by the governors placed big challenges in front of the Delhi Sultan. Number of rebellions occurred at this point of time and the Sultanate barely survived these challenges. Okay. Now after the slave dynasty, now the second Muslim dynasty ruled over the Delhi, Khilji dynasty. So after the death of Ghiyasuddin Balban was the slave ruler. Okay. So after the death of Ghiyasuddin Balban, now there was a confusion in Delhi for some time. Now the question is who ruled over the Delhi. So the grandson of Balban, Kekubad, he ascended the throne of Delhi, but he was weak ruler. So take advantage of this. There is one group called Khilji. They just came into the power, right? And Jalaluddin, he was the founder of Khilji dynasty and he led the foundation of Khilji dynasty over the Delhi after the slave dynasty. So Jalaluddin Khilji, He ruled over the Delhi from 1290 continued till 1296. Basically, he just ruled only for 6 years. But he was killed by his nephew Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji, he was the nephew of Jalaluddin Khilji. So Alauddin Khilji, he killed Jalaluddin Khilji, and he ascended the throne of Delhi after the Jalaluddin Khilji. So basically, Alauddin Khilji was very capable and efficient ruler, both administratively and military. Basically, during his reign, the Delhi Sultanate was expanded, or we can say that Alauddin Khilji established a very vast empire. He just conquered Gujarat. He also brought Rajasthan under his control, and he also start campaigning towards the Deccan region. Right now, basically, Alauddin Khilji also constructed Siri Fort in Delhi, and basically he just built this fort for the protection of people from the invasion of Mongol. And Siri, Siri was the third city of Delhi. And Alauddin Khilji also built a large reservoir in Delhi called Hauz Khas. Right now, after Alauddin Khilji, after the death of Alauddin Khilji, the next Muslim dynasty who ruled over the Delhi was the Tughlaq dynasty. So about the Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty and the Lodi dynasty, we will discuss in the next video. Okay, now move on to the important terms. So now the first term is the Bandagan. First term is the Bandagan. Okay, so basically the early Delhi Sultan, especially Iltutmish, he favored to purchase slave for military services. So these slaves are called Bandagan, slave purchased for military services by the Delhi Sultans. Second term is Iqta. Iqta, basically Khilji and Tughlaq, they appointed military commanders as governor of the territories of varying size. Now these lands were called Iqta. So in simple word, Iqta means the territories under the military commanders, or the land under the military commanders are called, these land are called Iqta. Now the holders of Iqta, the holder of Iqta were called Mukti or Iqtidar. Is it clear? Iqta means the land under the military commanders is called Iqta, and the holder of that means the military commander, they were the holders of the Iqta, so they were called Mukti or Iqtidar. Okay, now quiz time. So the first fill up is, the Delhi Sultanate comprised dash dynasty. So basically Delhi comprised how many dynasty? 5 dynasty. So basically 5 dynasty. First one is the slave dynasty, right? Second is Khilji dynasty. Third one is the Tughlaq dynasty. Fourth one is the Sayyid dynasty, and fifth one is Lodi dynasty. So all these 5 dynasties together formed Delhi Sultanate. Now the next question, second fill up is, Qutbuddin Aibak founded the dash dynasty after the death of Muhammad Ghori. So he led the foundation of slave dynasty. Okay, now move on to the third question. Razia Sultan was the only female sultan, and Razia, she was the first woman sultan who ruled over the Delhi, Muslim woman sultan. So Razia was the only female sultan of Delhi who succeeded. She was the daughter of Iltutmish. So she who succeeded Iltutmish. Now the fourth question, who defeated the Tomar Rajput and when? So who defeated Tomar Rajput? Okay, first of all, Tomar were the first Rajput who ruled over the Delhi, right? So who defeated? Chauhans. Chauhans were defeated Tomar. in 12th century. Okay. Now, fifth, the Delhi Sultans built several mosques in cities all over the subcontinent. Is it true or false? True. Option A, it's true. Okay. So that's all for today. Thank you, children, and have a nice day.